Go on, do your YouTuber intro.
Oh, so hi there, and welcome to another episode of Fact Theme Focus. And today we're going to talk about the edgiest edgelords who've ever edged before. Okay then, Brad, so as per usual, would you like to help with the introduction and explain to the audience at home the premise of today's video?
Well, we're going to be looking specifically at characters who are, you would define them as being edgy.
Edgelord.
And we're saying edgy in the sense that, like, they're like over-designed to be cool.
Yeah.
They're basically like, they're trying so hard to be cool or dark or mysterious.
That they end up just like, it falls completely flat, and you can only describe them as edgelord.
And we have to start with the obvious...
King of the Edge.
King of the Edge, Reaper.
Reaper, yes. And this is like the perfect example of what an edgelord is. And it's a character design that is purely there. Like, it's over-designed to the point where its only purpose is trying to look cool. Because he's a guy wielding two shotguns with a skull mask who talks in a really dark way. And it's the kind of, I define like an edgelord character as a character that you look at when you're like 13, 14 years old and go, yeah, that's what cool is. And obviously as you get older you realise like, no it's not. It's someone who's trying way too fucking hard. And I think, have you ever been like introduced to Reaper names? The Twitter profile.
You showed me it.
Right, and if people don't,
it was a laugh.
Go look it up. And it's like, oh, here are like win screens for Overwatch where Reaper wins the game, but it shows like the names of the people who play Reaper, and it's like, oh, God King Sniper 420. It's like Feel My Wrath XX Snipe 69, and they're all so fucking bad. But I think that sums up like the kind of person who thinks Reaper is cool. It's like, oh yeah, it's the person who thinks like skulls and the Grim Reaper and scythes and fire is awesome. And it's like the height of awesome. It's like, well, it's not. It's kind of like, overplayed and really lame and lazy, I would say, because most of the characters we're about to discuss look exactly like Reaper. And it's always black, accentuated with a colour, usually red. And the best example of that that springs to mind is obviously Kylo Ren, who is like, I define Kylo Ren as an edgelord because it's very clearly a design by some marketing dickheads at Disney of like, how do we evoke Darth Vader without just ripping off Darth Vader? Because Darth Vader works because it's iconic. It was the first one to do it. And because it's like a design, it's based on the samurai, it's got the red and the black, which colours that. They're overplayed now, but at the time, it was interesting. And like Darth Vader just cuts like this imposing silhouette, and it's just this confluence of just ass backwards decisions that somehow result in like one of the most iconic characters in pop culture history. Then you get Kylo Ren, where to the point where they even had to go to like the Darth Maul route, another character who's black and red, and like he has no personality beyond a cool looking lightsaber. I think we can all say what's your favourite Darth Maul line, Brad? Yeah, exactly. What's your favourite Darth Vader line?
I am your father.
Yeah, there's so many.
Classic.
There's so many, isn't there? Like,
don't know the power of the dark
exactly.
side.
But think, what's your favourite Kylo Ren line? Is it? He just cries? Is it where he's like stood in the middle of a forest punching himself in the dick because he lost like a thing? And I think Kylo Ren and Darth Maul are just like two sides of the same coin, where Darth Maul is over-designed, right, to the point where, like, oh yeah, like, make him red, but give him spikes. That's cool. Don't one lightsaber, give him two lightsabers. And then you got Kylo Ren, who's like a simpler design, but like but it makes more sense, I guess, in terms of the characterization, where the character himself knows he's lame, and he's trying really hard to be cool. Like, he wears the mask and the voice thing to sound more intimidating, as if like a Sith Lord with a fucking lightsaber isn't already intimidating enough, but whatever. And I think Kylo Ren almost gets away with it because the character knows he's lame. But when you look at all the promo imagery, you can tell that someone at Disney's like, yeah, that's cool, with a little crossguard lightsaber, which is different for being different. It's like, oh, you didn't need to do this. Like, Darth Vader was already cool. Don't try and rip off Darth Vader, because it just comes across trying too hard. It's lightning in a bottle. You can't match it. That's Kylo Ren. Is there any other edgelord characters you can think of?
You know how much I love talking about Legacy of Kain?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I love the character design,
yes,
I'm going to say that Raziel is probably up there with them.
Is that the guy? It's the scarf, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a scarf to cover the fact that he's got a missing bottom jaw with a fang.
And he's got the glowing eyes.
He's got a wraith blade on his arm. His entire body is skeletal in design.
Is it his sword as well? Like over-designed, an impractically cool-looking sword.
The design of him before he was dissolved was like I think he was based on David Bowie. Imagine
As all good characters are.
Imagine vampire David Bowie with huge bat wings.
Okay.
That was his original design. Then the bones of the wings were ripped off. He was left with
Basically, if you want to if you're still confused about an edgelord character, think about it, just throw too many things. I think edgelord is basically it's over design, is what I'd say. The thing is like you take a character and you just keep adding shit to them because you think it looks cool.
Yeah.
An example I like is Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. Like. The character is a bit lame now because he's been overplayed, but originally I like the design of Sephiroth. It's just long black coat, long white hair, very long sword. It's like, yeah, a bit overdone now, but you know what? Simple, clean. It's iconic. I think the way I've heard it put before is like a good design is one that people can draw from memory, and other people will know what it is.
Yeah.
Like compare that Sephiroth though to like Sephiroth in like the Kingdom Hearts games, where they gave him like a single black wing. And like take half his shirt off and that's like, oh man, he looks like a Digimon. Now it's lame because you've over-designed it. You put too much stuff on to try and make the character look cool. Like that's like the best character designs are always like simple, clean, memorable. The more shit you add, the lamer the character becomes. Using that as a jumping off point, let's start with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh,
The classic little. Let's put a little cartoony Sonic one in the first couple of games. Look, it was adorable. His little red shoes, and it's like, his big old eyes. And then you bring in, like, Edgy the Hedgy, Shadow the Hedgehog. And again, notice the prevailing colour scheme of black with red accents, which is just so fucking lazy.
Edgy the Hedgy still cracks me up.
And the worst bit about Shadow, though, is that they gave him a gun.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why, and he even rides in a low rider. A great way I've heard it put is, like, if you try and make a character cool, they will almost immediately become lame. So when you break down what being cool is, it's counterculture. It's going against the grain of what is in or acceptable at that moment and making it your own. Like the big pompadour haircuts in the 50s and the leather jackets, or riding around in souped up cars in the 2000s and all that kind of thing. But because obviously it's a snapshot, it's a reflection of culture at that time, it immediately becomes dated the moment you move on. Which is why I love not only is it got Edgy the Hedgy, but Sonic the Hedgehog himself in his later iterations. Because Sega's just been trying to chase oh no, why was this character popular? Because he wasn't Mario. Because Mario's like the clean-cut jump man who's like, woohoo, jumping around like in adorable adventures. Now, Sonic's got to be edgy and cool. He's not all that. Because Sega do what Nintendo don't. And then again, Sonic a fucking scarf in one thing. And then he's got the one where he's in a game where he's got a sword. It's so...
The rule on cool is that obviously when people start to imitate it, that's when it stops being cool.
Yes.
So if you want to come up with something cool, it's got to be something that's different for the period, and then becomes iconic enough for people to look back and say that's cool because it was the first, like Darth Vader. The first one that does it is the cool one.
Yeah, and anyone else who's trying to do it is basically a pretender to the throne. So you're just trying to emulate something that's cool, which in itself is not cool because you're not trying to be original. You're just doing it to try and evoke the old image, which is it's trying too hard, which isn't cool. Because being cool, it's a character like Dante from Devil May Cry, effortlessly cool because he doesn't give a fuck. And then you compare to Edgelord Dante in the DMC remake. He's like, oh, fuck you, man. And he's got the shaggy hair that was in at the time. And he's wearing the long coat with these old dirty patches and stuff on it. And he's giving people the middle finger. And he's sleeping with lots of girls. Cause that's it's the way I describe it is it's the kind of person in real life who bases their personality on Tyler Durden. Not realising the only, that character's an asshole. And the only reason you don't think that is because Brad Pitt is a charismatic dude. It's that sort of thing. So to move on, get away from Edgy the Hedgy, another edgelord character or another edgelord trait that you think is embodied by multiple characters.
There's a character I mentioned to you earlier that you're not too familiar with.
Okay.
It's Arthas from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Who becomes the Lich King. And he's considered to be the edgiest character, I think, in that universe, because he's basically...
Let me guess. Giant, impractically huge sword that isn't a clean design. It's got multiple spikes and stuff on it. Giant, big helmet, like he's on a Glory Hammer album cover. Big shoulder spikes. Aura of sexual dark energy around him at all times. Only can see slits in his helmet where little glowing white eyes come out.
You're almost exactly right.
Yeah, because I just thought of what is the most try-hard armour design I could think of, and that is it.
Yeah, he's even got spikes on his head to make it look like a crown.
Yeah, but then compare that to what the Lich King... Is it Lich or Lick?
He's the Lich King.
Compare that to the Witch King. from Lord of the Rings, which is like, it's flowing robes with one single thing. One feature, not over-designed, he's got one thing that is interesting and unique about him, and that's what becomes iconic. Compared to that, like, massive polygons. But we can't forget the most important part about, like, being an edgelord, Brad, and that is your edge name. Because, like, characters like this always have names that are designed to try and sound awesome. They always fall for, like, Shadow the Hedgehog, Reaper. So let's now discuss characters from fiction who do that. And again, it falls completely flat because the character themselves is just not cool. And I'm going to start with the movie Hackers because that is lousy with examples of this. Because that's a movie from the late 90s, like on the cusp of the computer era, when, like, computers were new and interesting. And it follows a group of, like, the titular hackers who are, like, all online and have all got, like, their handles by which they're known. A list of which I think I've riffed now long enough for you to get up in front of you. And I'd like you to go through with me right now because I only recall a few. And they are all amazingly edgy.
Let's start with Zero Cool.
Like, Zero works. Like, it's a bit cliche, but Zero on its own, that works. That's the character from Borderlands called Zero. I like it because he leans it. Zero Cool, though, it's like, one, it's 3 fucking syllables, so it's too long for an online handle. And 2, that's lame as shit. Because if you have to say you're cool, you're not cool. It's the uncoolest thing you can do is say you're cool. What's the next one?
The Phantom Freak. But freak spelled with a PH.
Again, it's over-designed now in terms of, like, the letters you're putting on a fucking screen. The Phantom works. Freak works. Phantom Freak works. The Phantom Freak is just, it's too much. Why? Why do you need to feel the need to do this? And the thing is, well, you can imagine some screenwriter somewhere going, yeah, this is the coolest character ever, man. Go on, next one.
Acid Burn.
Oh, and that's Angelina Jolie's character, isn't it? Like, oh, God, again. It's just, what are you trying to do with that name? What are you trying to, like, represent with that name? It's terrible. It's like, I love as well the fact that in that movie say, oh, yeah, your handle's who you are. If you haven't got a handle, you're not a real hacker. It's like most people's handles in real life is just shit they came up with as their, like, MSN name 10 years ago. And they now just have to go with it as, like, their go-to name on the internet. And you know what? I bet most of those people fucking hate that happened.
I mean, I'm a pretty good example because my Twitter that I've been linking in all the videos is Overdog, which was a handle I came up with about 7 or 8 years ago. That was born from a joke.
Yeah, do you know why
I can't get rid of it because that's the Twitter everyone goes to.
Do you know why my name on everything is Karl Smallwood? Because many years ago, someone told me when I started writing, well, you could, because I originally like Carlos Maximus was what I used to do because that's a nickname my dad gave me as a kid. And I think I went like Carlos Madeira for a bit, like Carl Wood. With like Carlos in big letters and Madeira in small, so it's Smallwood. And eventually someone's come to me like, Karl, your name's interesting enough on its own with the spelling of the first name, the last name sounding quite unique. Just go by your own name. Trust me, when you get to the point, if you ever get famous or to the point where people start, remembering who the fuck you are, you do not want to go by a stupid fucking nickname because that'll be your name for the rest of your life. So to that person whose name I forgot, thank you so much for that. Because now if anyone bumps into me in the streets, it's Karl, not, it's the Overdog. It's like,
so to be honest, I'd be quite happy if someone went, hey, are you the Overdog? Yes, I am. Yes, I fucking am.
You see what I mean about, like, that's why it's lame, because it just means, like, it sounds cool at first, but it's not going to be cool forever.
It could have been worse. My original one was Black Phantom. Imagine people coming to me in the street and going, you're the Black Phantom.
Well, I think they just call you like Black Fan, or they might call you Fants. Yeah. So you'd eventually come up with a nickname that people would shorten it to, but there's a couple of names from hackers you haven't gone through yet.
I mean, we've got Serial Killer.
Yeah, played by Matthew Lillard, is it? Or Lillard?
Matthew Lillard, yeah. Shaggy.
Yeah. Shaggy himself. True power.
There's also Crash Override.
It's so shit. Like, imagine that guy. And the thing is, the films play completely straight, and they have, like, people wearing, like, like, they look like Matrix rejects, screaming, hack the planet, dude! It's like, you are so fucking lame. Oh, you are one step removed from people, like, dressing like Naruto headbands, like ninja running across the playground.
The only other one there is one which I would argue is probably fairly usable, is The Plague.
The Plague, that's alright. But
again, that's still kind of edgy.
The fact is, like, describing yourself as a plague, so what do you do? I type on a computer. So it's still in it. It's like, to earn a name like The Plague, you've got to do something fucking awesome. Which is why I want to bring it to, like, to close off the film Blade. Specifically, Blade 2. Because there's a difference between, like we mentioned, that Darth Vader pulls off that edgelord look because he was the original. And he doesn't try to like make people, he doesn't try and intimidate people by dressing that way. That's just how he dresses, and people are scared of him because he's fucking awesome. His reputation speaks for itself. It doesn't matter what he looks like. And I want to make Blade too, because Blade is a pretty edgelord name, and the design of Blade is pretty edgy, isn't it? He wears all black, he wears sunglasses at night, he's got like a samurai sword, he's got like the ninja stars, he has like the body armour over like tactical trousers with the big combat boots. But I'd argue Blade pulls that shit off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because like Wesley Snipes himself is a really cool dude. One, the actor has the swagger to pull it off, and two, the character has this like mythical reputation in that world. So no one's gonna fucking question him walking around like that. Clearly it works. But in Blade 2, you are introduced to a bunch of chuckle fucks who hunt other vampires, like the evil vampires in that movie, who like feed on vampires.
They're called the Blood Pack.
Oh my god, I forgot they were called the Blood Pack. 'Cause I was just gonna like single out one of the members of the Blood Pack. Oh god, that's such a shit name. And it is a dude called Lighthammer, and he's introduced in a way where you know the director thought this is the coolest looking guy in the fucking world, where they pan over to Lighthammer, they film from a low angle so he looks big and powerful. And he's sat there just stroking like a big sledgehammer, like he thinks he's Shao Kahn or some shit. There's a woman who's just draped over his arm, and he just growls at Blade, like he's got facial tattoos and everything. And do you know what he does in that movie?
Is it fucking nothing?
No fucking nothing. I guess his shit rocked in the first 10 seconds he does anything. He swings his hammer, his namesake, at one of the aforementioned vampire feeding vampires. It does fucking nothing, and he gets his shit wrecked. It's like, the only one who gets away with it is Iceman, I think he's called, and that's Jet Li. And it only gets away with it because it's played by Jet fucking Li in one of his first roles. And he actually does some martial arts. But everybody else just sucks. And the fact he comes in like, Lighthammer. And he's sat, like, and the thing is though, he's sat there posing for Blade to try and look cool. Meanwhile, Blade's just there like, huh, okay, whatever. It's like the moment in like Blade 3, when they walk in, and it's like, oh yeah, we're the vampire hunters. We like listen to iPods as we hunt. And we have like, cool nicknames for each other, and I've got like a bow and arrow that's made out of light. And Blade just goes, you fucking idiots, just hunt vampires, it's not hard. And it says a lot when the character who's wearing a black leather trench coat and carrying a katana and wearing sunglasses at night is cooler than you. It's like the coolest character in the movie is the guy who's dressed like a fucking weeb at an anime convention.